Hello and welcome to the short video where I'm going to show you 2 acupoints that help with stress. Acupressure is similar to acupuncture, but instead of needles we are using fingers, and it's also part of the traditional Chinese medicine. Now, traditional Chinese medicine believes that we have energy flow in our body called Qi or Qi, and that it's a vital life force, and it's running along energy channels that they call meridians. And acupoints are certain spots along those channels, and if we stimulate these points, it relieves blockages in the energy flow and will bring harmony and well-being to our body. So the first point I'm going to show you is PE6, which is on the inside of our arm, just below our wrist. It's about 2 fingers below our 2 to 3 fingers below our wrist crease. So you might want to bend your hand if you're having an issue. So 2 fingers. So where your bony part ends, that's where you place 1 finger, and then the second finger, and you can bend your wrist to make it easier. And usually where the 3rd finger is, this is where the point is. It's between the 2 arm bones and it's quite deep. So in order to hold it, I actually also hold the opposite on the outside of the arm, which is called triple warmer 5. So I'm just going to show you some push in quite deeply. And so that's pericardium 6, P6, it's called inner gate. So this one balances the inner and the outer being. It's really great for any kind of sickness, like morning sickness and motion sickness, for indigestion. So if you're stressed, you might feel upset or nauseous as well. And it's actually really good for emotional upsets. It's also good for panic or anxiety attacks. So this is a good point to hold, to kind of relax you a little bit. Now when you're holding these points, it's a good idea to breathe in and out deeply, like 2 or 3 times, and just become aware of your body. Focus on the point you're holding. I know it might be a little bit harder with this point because you're holding it, you're pushing in quite deeply, so it might be a little bit uncomfortable. You can also back up a little bit if that's better for you. And acupoints, usually we hold them like 1 to 3 minutes. You usually hold them until you feel a pulse. And that's why the breathing is really important, because the breathing helps you become aware of your body, what is going on in your body and in the spot that you're holding, and it helps you feel the pulse or be aware of the pulse more easily. The second point I'm going to show you, I'm just going to get a sticker. Is conception vessel 17. Now this one is in the middle of your chest, right next where your heart is, or right in the nipple line. And the conception vessel, the points are actually, if they're on the sternum, the rib cage, they're in between the bones. So you would have a bony part and then a little bit of an indentation and a bony part again. So these points are in between the bony parts where you feel the little indentation. Now if you're a woman, or if you're working on a woman, it's going to be really hard to feel that bony part. You would have to press in quite deeply because of the bra. If you're working on somebody else, that also be a little bit uncomfortable because it could be a little bit invasive. So the one guideline is with acupressure or with any kind of body work, 50% is intention. When your intention is that you're wanting to hold this point in order to make them feel better, or in order to feel better yourself, that's already good enough. So it doesn't matter if you're a little bit off, or if you're not holding the point deep enough, or if you're holding too lightly, or even if it's a point that is really up underneath the surface of the skin and you're pushing in really hard, it doesn't really matter. 50% is intention, and that means 50% you will be successful. Okay, so CV17, it's called Sea of Tranquility. So that name already tells you that it will help you relax and relax your mind. So if you're doing this point or holding this point on yourself or even on somebody else, it's actually easier if they're laying down. So this one is good for emotional balancing, and it helps with grief. It's also good for depression, loneliness, anxiety, and nervous tension. So it's a really good point to hold. And again, remember to breathe in and out a couple of times to become aware of your body. If you're focusing on your breathing, that helps you relax already too. And hold the point for about 1 to 3 minutes. Now with this point, you probably won't feel a pulse unless you're working skin on skin, or unless the person, or unless you don't, if you're doing it on yourself, don't wear a bra. So you just hold it until you kind of sense that person is relaxed, or until you feel yourself relaxing. I hope these points were helpful for you. I have an Acupressure course for self-help that you can purchase off of me, and they will cover all kinds of issues like neck and shoulder and back pain and knee pain, as well as digestive issue, and I also have a wellness routine that you can do on a daily basis.